Don't let anxiety be the thief of your dreams. If you're new here, my name is Julia, and this is The Art of Loving. And I used to be someone who let anxiety be the thief of her dreams until I no longer allowed myself to be trapped by the illusions of fear, the illusions of anxiety, and found the truth of love. That is why I call my page The Art of Loving, because love truly does transform your life. And you hold that creative ability. You are the artist of your life who can choose to create a life in love or a life in fear. And in this video, I'm going to talk about how I allowed myself to feel freed from my anxiety, to no longer feel trapped, to no longer feel like I was a victim to this anxiety, but how I unlocked my inner power, or more so, how I remembered the power of my soul, the power of the love within me. So, anxiety is something that I feel like a lot of us talk about and a lot of us feel. But I feel like we don't really talk about the fact that anxiety is a symptom of this fear state that a lot of us live in, that a lot of us have become to believe is us. That fear is us, not that fear is an emotion that can pass, and when we learn to navigate it in a healthy way, we don't allow ourselves to be trapped in a constant state of fear. But yes, we feel fear in certain moments. There are certain moments in our life that are truly fearful. But when we learn to navigate this fear, we see that this fear doesn't define us, and this constant state of being in this anxious state is not who we truly are. And there is a life beyond that constant state of anxiety. And if you look at Hawkins' level of consciousness, you see that fear is on this lower level, this state of fear, which this symptom of anxiety, that's what it is. And anxiety makes us feel like the future is also in this state of fear. When we're in the state of anxiety, our minds puts us in this spiral of creating an unfavorable future. That is what our mind is. If you look up the definition of anxiety, it is fear of an imagined situation. So in a way, us imagining that situation creates more of that anxiety and more of that fear within us. And this isn't a moment to say, okay, it's all my fault, this anxiety, because a lot of the times, most of the time, that's why you're watching this video, most likely, it is unconscious. That anxiety, the fact that you are partaking in creating and amplifying that anxiety within you, is an unconscious part of you. It is a part of you that got created during childhood in order to protect you. So be gentle with it. This page is called The Art of Loving because we meet these pieces of ourselves with love. And you can meet this anxiety with love by becoming aware of it, aware that, okay, something in my childhood or something I experienced, or just I was never taught how to look at life through the lens of love, and therefore I have become so used to this constant state of fear, of predicting fear, of being aware of fear. But I can see the truth. I can see the truth within me that I hold more power. On Hawkins' level of consciousness, you have the power of courage, you have the power of love within you to move past those states of being that you feel like is all you. But the truth is that your soul being is love. Your soul being is this pure channel connection with God. And that is the truth. That is your pure state. And yes, as a human, you will feel emotions, you will feel fear, like I said, but it is about learning to navigate yourself through those emotions. It just looks like a bug. I want to take a moment and look at the sunset if you can still see it. I think in the beginning of the video you could, and hopefully it's not too dark right now, but I will continue my video. I really wanted it to have at least a piece of the sunset because I love sunsets. If you know me, I have a book called I Saw You in the Sunset, and actually a big moment of an anniversary that's the title of that book, of when that title came to me, is coming up on August 19th, and I will share more about that on August 19th, so stay tuned. But yeah, this is my book, I Saw You in the Sunset, so I'll talk more about it later. I'm an author. You can find my books down below, and I'll talk more about I Saw You in the Sunset later. But yes, along with that, like I mentioned, was someone who used to live in a state of feeling like I was trapped in this constant state of fear, and felt trapped by my anxiety. That's why I said don't allow anxiety to be the thief of your dreams, because I know what a life in such anxiety feels like and looks like, and how it can feel like this fear is all consuming, that this fear truly is you, but it is not you. And that's what I really want you to feel in this video, that the fear, anxious state that you live in is not you. There lives a life beyond that. And like I said, you will feel certain emotions, but it is about learning to navigate those and learning to not allow that fear to stop you, but allowing yourself to feel of when you truly are in a state of danger, and when your mind is just protecting you because it fears you venturing out into the unknown. The unknown might seem so scary. Like, for example, when I was creating my books and wanting to share them with the world, the amount of fear and the amount of anxiety that my mind wanted to put on me, and that I would fall into in creating also. What if people judge me? What if people abandon me? All of these fear-based thoughts. Do you think I didn't have them? I did. But I always knew in my soul that something greater was leading me, and I wanted to find the truth of is this true, or is this just my mind's limitations? And most of the time, yes, it was my mind's limitations. But when you fall into feeding those limitations of your mind, then that's what you create, because you don't allow yourself to make the moves that the identity of you that is living in love and potential, you don't make the moves that that identity would make. And so you stay limited, you stay in this anxious state, because you listen to the limitations of your mind, the thoughts that were feeding everything that did not serve you. And it is about becoming conscious to those thoughts, that when they come, to not add power and not feed them, but to allow yourself to stay rooted in your soul essence, the part of you that is love, the part of you that is guiding you, the part of you that is in connection with God. And that's where I truly found the peace in my safety, the peace to allow myself to see the truth beyond fear. It was the safety that I found in my soul in connection with my heart. Ooh, there's some kind of animal. The peace that I found in connection with my heart, in connection with my soul, in connection with God, the piece of me that is always worthy, the piece of me that is in connection with my intuition, that is in connection with my feelings, the piece of me that truly does know when I am in danger and when it is just my mind becoming so used to creating fear that that's what it creates more of. But knowing that my soul has the power in that moment to say stop. I choose to create love. I choose to think favorable thoughts. I choose to see beyond the illusions of my fear and see the truth of my soul's holiness, of my soul's worth, of the fact that in connection with God I am always safe. I find that safety within me. It's never externally. That's also a big part, that it's about finding that safety within you. And I found that safety in connection with my heart, my soul, in connection with God, forming that connection with myself, forming that connection with God, so that I did not fall into fear, where little things would cause such anxiety within me, because I didn't have that foundation of safety within me. And like I said, I found that by connecting with myself, my heart, and with God. And I was called to share this video and then also an extraordinary thing happened, because I haven't had a moment of such anxiety in a while. I used to have moments, days, weeks, where I was constantly in the state of anxiety, where I would wake up and just be filled with anxiety that felt so limiting, anxiety that truly was paralyzing to make any moves in life. And I was able to, through seeing the truth that I hold more power over my thoughts, to learning when am I truly feeling fear, and if it is real fear, or if it is my mind so used to the fear and the state of not being safe that I am creating it. and looking for the truth and rewiring my brain to look for love in moments, to look for safety, to look for that connection with my heart, that I was able to move out of a state of constant anxiety and fear and move into that state of love by finding that love within me. And it's beautiful that I'm saying this, because I saw you in the sunset is that moment of seeing myself to be love and finding that foundation within me. That is the journey of this book. And so it's beautiful that I wanted the sunset to be with me and that I talked about it. But yeah, it was that foundation of moving from that state of fear. If you look up Hawkins' level of consciousness, and maybe I'll put an image here, it was about moving from that state of fear and into that state of love. But like I mentioned, that does not mean that I'm a human. I still feel fear in certain moments, and I feel like sometimes we fall into this illusion that we might never feel these emotions again, like in the spiritual world when we connect with ourselves and connect with God. But we are still humans here having an experience, and emotions come and emotions go. But the beautiful thing is that we now, when we feel these emotions, we're able to get to a place where we're able to consciously move through them. And I had such an experience last Wednesday. I haven't had, like I mentioned, such a moment of such anxiety for a very long time. And even when I do, they last like a few minutes, because I'm able to soothe myself through it. I found my inner power. I found my way to connect with myself, with God. I know myself in ways that help me move past this anxious state that I'm in. But last Wednesday I was going to New York, and I got on the bus with my cousin. My cousin was visiting from Poland, and I got on the bus, and when I sat down, I could not remember if I checked that this was the correct bus. And usually, like I would be able to like logically I knew that if we even got on the wrong bus, nothing like that super bad would happen. Okay, we'd get to the destination, we'd go on another bus, like it's okay. But in that moment, my mind could not let it go. I began fixating on it, and I felt myself getting anxious, which logically I was not in any state of super danger, But I feel like that came to me to have this realization, to be able to share this story, because I was really aware of myself. It was like I was experiencing and knowing that I was experiencing something that like I was kind of creating, because I was fixating on it and creating that more of that anxiety and fear. But the beautiful thing is, like I mentioned, I know how to soothe myself, and I was really aware of how I was soothing myself. So I was breathing into it. I was telling myself, okay, like logically I know that I am okay, that I am safe. And in the morning, this mentor on her story put these words on her story. She said that through her magic, she's sending us all the love that she feels, the freedom that she breathes, and the abundance that she is. So in that moment, I kept affirming to myself those words. I was like, I am the love that I feel. I am the freedom that I breathe. I am the abundance that I am. And I was breathing into it, and I was connecting with God, and I was like, God, I know I am safe. And it lasted longer than usual, but like I said, I was soothing myself. And then the most beautiful thing is, which as if this was like a manifestation of God wanting me to know that I am safe, the person behind me was like, excuse me, is this bus? And asked if this was the bus. And I was like, you know what? I believe it is. That to me, that person didn't know that was confirmation to me that we were on the right bus by asking me if this is the bus. And it was beautiful, because like I said, it was like a manifestation of God showing me, okay, you're safe. A physical manifestation. And after that, I calmed down, and I knew I was safe. And I wanted to give that example, because little things like that, I know when you're used to living in the state of anxiety, like that is your normal day-to-day, this fixation, this rumination, and just constantly creating more of this anxiety and more of this fear. And I feel like people don't teach us that fear is normal to feel when we are in a state of danger, but that also we hold more power over our mind and where we direct our energy than we think. Because in a way, by fixating on it, I was creating more of that fear instead of letting it go and breathing in and knowing that I was safe. And so I want to awaken that within you, that your mind a lot of the times is creating more of that fear by fixating on the negative. But by waking up to your soul's truth and waking up to the conscious part of you and knowing that you hold more power over your thoughts than you think, You're allowed to minimize those periods of anxiety, to see that you hold more power, to find safety, to find truth within you. And that anxiety with time diminishes. And like I said, there might not be a moment when it ceases forever. But you, through building your inner foundations of feeling of self-worth, this inner foundation of love, this inner foundation of safety that is within you, that we hold the power of navigating ourselves through these emotions in a beautiful, healthy way, to not allow anxiety to be the thief of our life, truly, not only our dreams, but our life. Because I know when I was in this state of anxiety, I felt powerless. But knowing that I hold within me the inner power to move myself and navigate myself through fear, through anxiety, I reclaim my power. And this is about reclaiming your power so that you can be a conscious artist of your life. Because I did not allow that situation to tear me down. And I know after that, I did not even think about it. I was grateful. I saw it in beauty. I thanked God for that moment of awakening me up even more to his truth, to his love, to his abundance by being a physical manifestation through someone else. It is about becoming conscious to your thoughts, to your soul, and knowing that you hold more power within you than you think, that you are a conscious artist in your life, and you're always held. And with that, I want to read a poem from my book, I Saw You in the Sunset, because this book, I have two. I have Helping People Breathe. You can find the other one down below as well. This one is truly about moving from that fear state into this love state, and knowing that you hold that power within you, the power to create from love and not fear. You hold that power within you. Every day, you can breathe into it, you can expand into it. And there is a time in your timeline where you have power over your fear, and your fear does not control you. You hold that power within you. And so with that, I'm going to read this poem. Let's see. My mind created fear, the voice of fear living within me, so powerful, so driving, or more so driving in withholding me from action. Screaming in control, crying in fear. But if my mind can create fear to be so consuming, then it could also flip into the other extreme and pour its power into courage and bravery, putting such value into these words that become creatures inside my head, undoing the words of fear as they pull out its weeds and plant words of love and initiative and courage and bravery, until fear no longer holds any power and my mind is fearless. And that is called the power of my mind. And your mind, I have a little visitor in my video, and your mind holds more power than you think. Feed your mind with confidence, feed your mind with love. Know that you hold more power over your thoughts, over the way you feel. You hold that power within you. So, don't allow anxiety to be the thief of your dreams, to be the thief of your life. You hold the power to create in love and unleash your true authentic self in the world. You hold that power. Let me be a reminder to you that you are loved and that you hold that power. And you can find my book, I Saw You in the Sunset, down below, to truly let it activate that power within you, remind you of your power. So have a beautiful and lovely day today of choosing to create love and not fear. Choosing thoughts that are loving, choosing to see the future in love, to see the future as something favorable to you, because you are worthy of love meeting you, and you are worthy of giving love to the world. So have a beautiful and lovely day, and I will see you in the next video. So like, comment, subscribe, become part of the Soul family, and have a beautiful, beautiful, and lovely day. Bye.